Hi and welcome to High on Coding. I'm your host Mohammad Azam. First of all, I'd like to thank you for visiting High on Coding. The number of users every week, every month are increasing, and that's a very good sign. I know you're supporting. Thank you very much. If you do like to sponsor any screencasts, if you do like to sponsor on the website itself, then you can email me at azamsharp@gmail.com. Let's get into the video. Now in this particular video I will show you, or I will introduce to you, the concept of model binders. Okay, so let's first see life without model binders. So we have a simple form, and let's run the page. So our simple form contains a first name and last name, as you can see, first name, last name, and the save button. And if I go over there, we have a first name, last name, which is the text box. If I go to my home controller, when I click the button, save action will be invoked, and if you see save, it has a first name and last name property. Now this is all okay. Now consider a situation in which you will have a first name, last name, and then you have couple of other stuff over here, like registration, username, password, address 1, address 2, something like that. And then what you have to do over here is that the number of input parameters of your save method will actually increase. Now that's not a very good idea, because the larger this particular input parameter list goes, it will be harder for maintain. So I made a customer class which is inside my models. It can be in a different project. It has first name and last name as public properties. So I'm just going to go over there into the save method, and I'm going to say, okay, you are going to accept a customer object. Okay, you're not going to accept a first name, last name. You're just going to accept a customer object, because that is what the first name and last name is. All right, so I'll go back over here and I will make no change. Okay, and what I'm going to do is put a breakpoint, which is already there. Let's go and debug this. Let's start the debugger and jump onto this one, and I'm going to say, okay, my name is John Doe. I'm going to say save. So here we go, we are in the debugger right now, and let's go over there and see the value of the first name and last name, and you can see the first name is John and the last name is Doe. How did that happen? So that actually happened because the first name and the last name are the same keys, or the same form values that are posted, and the name of the property is the same. Okay, so let me stop that. So if you go and see in new.aspx, it has first name and last name, and these are the values that are actually posted. And what it's going to do is the binder code is actually going to search this particular object, the customer object, for the first name and the last name properties, and if those properties are found, then they are populated with the posted form values. So it will be populated with the first name and last name values. Okay, this is all good. Okay, but what about if I have a customer that has address? Okay, so if I say over here private list of address, and I'm just going to say addresses equal to null, and if I have public, and I will say public property addresses get, and you can say over here if addresses equal to null, then basically address is equal to new address, and return the addresses. And I can also set the address as addresses equal to value. Alright, let's build this. Now address is a very simple class. If I go to address, it has a street and a city. So now I will go back over here, and I'm going to say, okay, how about the address? So I'm going to say, okay, street html.textbox, and what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to say, okay, street. Okay, and the same thing I'm going to do with the city. city. Everything good? Let's close these things and let's go and debug this and let's see what happens. I'm going to go again to home/new. So I have different fields now. I'm going to say, okay, John Doe, street name is, let's say, Binary Street, and city is, let's say, Houston. I'm going to say save. So debugger cache this over here, and then you will actually see that the addresses are 0, but the first name and last name are actually populated. Now the reason that it is 0 is because in the customer class it does not have any property name street. It does not even have any property name city. Since addresses is a collection and you need to populate it, you will do something like this: addresses 0 dot street, and in the same way addresses 0 dot city. Because it's a collection, I'm just saying that go to the 0 element, populate the street, and go to the 0 element, populate the city. If the element is not there, which of course is not, then create it and then populate it. So let's go over here and let's go to, again, go to the page. Okay, home, new. Let's fill it out with John Doe, street is like Binary Street, Houston. Let's say save. So we go to the customer. Now you will see that the addresses count is actually 1. If I go and look, you will see that it catches the Houston and Binary Street, which is at the inside the addresses collection. Okay. So this was a very simple scenario, but hopefully you will get the idea of the power behind the model binders. And in the next video, I will show you how to do much more complicated things when you have a nested data. Hope you like this video, and if you have any questions, you can email me at awesomesharp@gmail.com. Thank you very much.